Hello, my viewer. How have you been? This is Jane Kariuki, Health Now Show, your health friend. I'm so happy to be with you once again. And we've been looking at traumatic experiences in delivery, in relationships, and the feedback that we have been getting from you has really encouraged us even to continue on, because we know that when we share, somebody else is getting help. This is the feedback that we have been getting, and thank you very much for your feedback. And we continue sharing, your giving us your comments and feedback, and probably the other people that you'd like us to bring and other areas that you'd like us to touch in your life. And today I am so happy to have my namesake called Jane, that she's coming to talk about one of the traumatic issues, now her journey on the traumatic issue of rejection. You remember I talked about rejection and what we need to watch out and how you know somebody is rejected. And if you haven't watched that episode, you can go back and just check on it and see what I talked about. And Jane is not new to us. She came here and she talked about her experiences on deliveries, and you remember she talked about one downtime that she had about her daughter Melody, and it was quite traumatic. And she's back here to share her story on how she has been handling and what she went through about rejection. And without further ado, I would like to welcome her to introduce herself further, and now from there she takes us through her experience. And I believe that as you sit there, as you're watching us, you get something. And I believe your life will be different.
Hello viewers, my name's Jane Jerry. I'm born again, Jesus Christ is Lord. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy that I'm back on our health show with my namesake. I feel honored, and I feel great to come and share my story. My heart just feels good when I pour out to help other women, to help somebody out there, that you will be encouraged, that you'll be strengthened to know that somebody else has gone through what you are going through, and I have made it. I'm in the process. I have gone through issues. I have gone through situations which you could be going through, but you will make it. I'm just here to tell you, don't give up. Just let your spirit go higher than you are today, and you are going to see the fruits of being resilient and being patiently waiting for that time that God will accomplish what He's doing in your life. Thank you.
Wow. Now, Jane, your experience, as you shared earlier on before we started, is rejection in marriage.
Yeah.
Where did it start? Just share with us.
Rejection, if I can elaborate a little bit about rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Rejection comes in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
individually,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also be passed on.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
rejection, it's like a curse,
Mm-hmm.
because it is passed on.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a child,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are going through rejection,
Mm-hmm.
that rejection will be passed on to your child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It might not even be that child, it can go on to a grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
So rejection comes in many forms,
Mm-hmm.
and for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because like mine, when I discovered that I have been going through rejection,
Mm-hmm.
I traced back
Mm-hmm.
and discovered that my mother went through that rejection.
Mm-hmm.
When she got married,
Mm-hmm.
as a young girl or a young lady,
Mm-hmm.
the grandmother whom I'm named after,
Mm-hmm.
my father's mother,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want that relationship. She rejected my mother on the whims of traditions, and she could say verbally they cannot have a relationship with the Christians. You know, there were those old traditional people, those who were very serious about their traditions. So she felt she could not engage with Christians because most Christians of that time, in the early 60s, those who went into Christianity, they left some ways of traditions from their communities, like in our community. And my grandfather were some of those Christians who were very staunch. They had gone through missionary teachings, and so they were very strict Christians. So my grandmother felt threatened to have a Christian girl married by her son, and so she rejected her. And that is where now my rejection comes in. My mother was rejected. And all along, I did not even realize. My mother used to tell us, and by good luck, we are very free with my mother. She used to make us laugh about her life stories, her experiences. She talks a lot about herself. So it was not something that was hidden from us. But because we did not have that spiritual knowledge, we didn't take it as something that is, you can take it just lightly, literally. She rejected you, so what? Your life went on. So I didn't take it seriously when I was still young or before I got saved. But now when I got saved and went through some experiences, it's when I realized, oh, it's not me who has the problem. It is not my husband. It is not my in-laws. The spirit of rejection is at work. So I went on, when things went so bad, I went to look for help. I went, visited a counselor, a very spiritual person, and she took me through the process of getting out of rejection and living again. Yeah. So, you know the story, how I got married. I was a young girl. I got married. My life is just good. The first 5 years, about 5, 6, 8 years were good. But then things started happening after those years. And I started, now, I felt the disconnect between me and my husband. Now, it's like he locked himself somewhere alone. Now, I'm in his life, but it's not, it's like I'm not in his life. We are not communicating. We cannot talk. We cannot plan on our family. There is nothing we can share, you see. And this went on for a very long time. And then I would tell myself, hey, even if he doesn't want me here, until the day he will pick my things and throw them out of the house, I'm not gonna go. I'm not going anywhere. I literally left my life behind to come and be his wife, to come and have a family with him. My heart just yearned to make a family with him. I'm not going to just give up. So I stayed on. He was providing, was doing everything, but it was like we were two different people. We detached from each other. We don't talk. If we talk, it's hi, where is so and so? Where is this and that? You know, those common issues that are in the house. But on relationship-wise, you feel you are detached. You are not working together. And so it went on, and I remember when I shared the story of my deliveries. There's that story when I shared about my daughter Melody. That is the climax of everything, because that is the time I was going through. I think I had entered into depression unknowingly, because everyone in the family, I was almost rejected by everybody. And I remember I touched on an issue that I had a court case where even when the case was being concluded, the judge said, I didn't find anything that I can tell this lady to stand up and try to defend herself. There's nothing here. These are domestic issues that are just like, it's like there is a grudge somewhere. It's like a grudge. Somebody is having a grudge. And that time, it is like everybody in the home. We are, in our family, we are 4. but we have others who are from the other fathers-in-law. We are who we are very close. But it's like I was in a world of myself. Me and my children, there were so many fights within. Now, I discovered that we cannot go on in good terms with some of these people. And so I used to hide myself in my job. I used to come home late. I discovered that I'm not happy when I'm in the compound. I'm not happy when I'm at home. I would feel safe when at work. And then when evening comes, I would just wonder, where am I going? Why should I go home now? So I would find those people who are not eager to go home earlier, and then I could delay myself. I could wait so that I can go home late. Sometimes I would let the children sleep because I feel my head is just so full of issues. And so it went on for a very long time. We cannot discuss what to do with my husband. We cannot discuss on the issues of children. And we cannot discuss what next. We cannot discuss, we develop or we progress. I'm just there alone. And it came a time back in the year 2002, I decided, now it clicked something in my mind. And you know, Satan is very queer. He can whisper something and you see as if it is the truth. And so there was that whisper behind my ears. You know, I don't have to stay married. Why? My mother walked out and we grew up. We are now well up. I don't see why I'm forcing myself. Why would I stay in a relationship that I'm not wanted? And so I decided I'm going to move on. But before I move out, I have to plan myself. And so I started doing things that maybe I could tell myself I'm now taking control of my life just before I move out of the house. So I started looking for a way that I can buy a property. So I bought plots in Katani through a cooperative in our place. And then I was waiting for some time that I can have some money to go and build there. At the same time, the company I was working for was a government parastatal, and there was an issue that came up that people would be retrenched. It was still early, so it was not very fast, and we were still delayed. They were just rumors, although it would happen later. And then I strengthened myself. Now that I have acquired some plots, I'm just waiting to finish the loan, and then I get another loan so that I can go and build there. And after building, I will just get a truck. In fact, at my place of work, if you wanted to shift, you could ask for a vehicle to be assisted to go and move out and shift. So I was counting on my employer can give me a vehicle to get me to the new house. And so I was eager. But deep down, I'm so stressed. Deep down, I'm so eager to move to my new home. But you know, the issues that just are affecting you. I have children in school, I have little ones, I have these big boys, and you know, you imagine about getting a transfer. You now want to shift. You have to get transfer for your children, and all those issues. There are those logistics that you have to fall in place before you shift. And so my fear was I had occupied my payslip so much. I was earning very little. And so I was waiting that my payslip I will clear some things.
Kidogo.
Yeah. So in the midst of all these issues, personal issues, there are those external forces. I'm not coping with my in-laws, you see, and these are not the I would say the sisters, you know, because there was no girl in the sisters. No one of them was in the compound. No one was there. They were all married, even up to today, and we were just me and my other co-wives, and so we could not cope. we could not be on terms. I discovered there were so many issues that we cannot go on together. Sometimes, and we were born again, all of us. Sometimes I discovered we could pray together. You know, we are so close. We know the issues of our family. We know our husbands so well, and we felt it is good we are born again, all of us, so we can come together and accept to share so that we can pray on those issues as a family. All of a sudden, I could discover my issues have become a headline. And then, oh my God, it crushed my spirit. I felt so crushed because these are people who I dearly, I value them so much. They are my family. I have a place in my heart for them, and I feel so close, and I feel good when we are together, when we are sharing, when we are standing in for our families. And then I fear now I'm giving them my secrets, and then they are becoming the news in the village. It crushed my spirit so much. And there I started segregating myself. I stopped going for those fellowships. I stopped sharing, and I could not share anything. And then this is where now I'm still going through that phase of being rejected. I cannot share with my husband. If the children fight, my children will be beaten even by the adults. And then when I come and tell my husband, now, you know, I feel I cannot go to ask myself. I have to let my husband take cover because he's the one in authority. I cannot go and start quarreling. I'm born again. I cannot go and start behaving like somebody who is, you know, from the bush. Just the way women used to do in olden days, that I want to be heard in the whole compound shouting and calling each other names. No, I don't want that. And so I could tell my husband, and you know, my husband could tell me what? You know, you just only want to create issues, just small issues. And that time my children are beaten. Another time I found my house girl. That is at 7 o'clock. She has packed. She's waiting for me to come. And I'm working. And it was on a weekday. Why are you going? Have I done anything wrong to you? No. My husband? No. My children? No. Why? And she was reluctant to speak, but she eventually told me, you know what? These women, other women in the compound, they were shouting at me. In fact, even one of the men, the brother to the father of your kids, told me they will call the clan to come and chase me out of this compound. And I felt like, I asked myself, when did my house girl and my children get married to the clan? Why is it coming this far? Now, this time, because I'm already going through depression, I've not realized it's rejection at work. I'm taking things just literally the way they are coming. And I came and asked my husband, now, why are you reluctant to act or to protect me and my children? Why can't you stand in for us? He's those people, he loves his family. He loves his brothers, he loves his sisters. He wouldn't even hurt any one of them. He wouldn't even go to ask if he has done something wrong to him. He would just keep quiet and leave it at that. And so I was feeling like it is like he doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about the children. And then I could tell myself, you know what? Maybe he's in that plan. He's in the scheme to chase me out of this house. And then I would tell myself, but until he kicks me out, until he kicks my properties out, that is the time I will go. I would then strengthen myself. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that day that he takes my belongings and kicks them out. So these issues would still go on like that. You know, in the house, we are not communicating. I'm not telling my in-laws. I'm not speaking to anybody to help me. I'm just fighting on my own. From the inside, my mind and my heart, I'm just fighting. I am not talking to anybody. I'm not telling anyone what goes on in my life. And sometimes I would visit my mother because that time I was slimming slowly by slowly. And after some time, my mother discovered my body is not so much okay the way she knows me. And she would ask me, are you going through some problem? Are you being mistreated? And then I would say, oh no, ma'am, me being mistreated are not like me. So these things would go on like that. And then I found myself, it has gone too much. I'm dealing with these issues alone. I'm preoccupied with the things that are happening in my life other than pouring them out. I'm keeping them inside. I'm accepting them and keeping them inside. Other than fight and get them out, I'm keeping them in the inside. And so it went on like that until now. It was like I was in depression. Nobody was seeing the changes. Nobody was discovering there is something that is awkward. Because when you meet with my sisters, when you meet with my mom, they knew me as a very quiet person. Even in my adulthood, they knew me as a very quiet person. But due to these shake-ups in this new home, I could talk a little bit. But you see, I was not telling them what is happening. I didn't tell them we are already detached with my husband. It is like we are two people, two different families in one house. Let me say the house because it is just me and my husband. Me and my children, we are very much okay. I will be very happy with my children. We'll go and visit and then come back. But outside that house, things were so different for me. It was like I'm in a world of my own self. And sometimes I would tell myself, did I come to marry myself in this compound? Did I come to marry myself in this family? Did I force myself into a marriage that I was not wanted? And then I would say, if he doesn't want me, he will kick me out. And then I'll just go on. So it went on for a very long time. And you know, with rejection, sometimes it goes to an extent that maybe you start saying maybe you are the wrong person. Maybe you are doing things that are wrong. It is you who is offending people. And then I would ask, sometimes I would even ask God, literally, God, really, am I in this home in your consent, or I just brought myself? And then I would then answer and say, but God, even if I brought myself here, you knew where I was coming. Why did you allow it? Why did you allow me to come into such a family, into such a place? Why did you do
So
it?
at that point, then you have realized that you're experiencing rejection.
Yeah, I'm experiencing rejection.
So
now.
at that time now there is realization that you're going through rejection.
I'm going through rejection.
So what are some of the signs that you could be able to kind of touch and say, I actually know this is rejection?
You know, it's very abnormal when, like now, maybe I'm not in good terms with the next person. But it can be something that is a red flag when 2, 3, 4 people you are living together and you feel you cannot cope with all of them. It's not normal. It's not something normal. We are 4 of them. We are 4 of us.
In the extended family. Yeah.
In the same compound. But none of them would, we could not rhyme with any of them. Regardless of education background, social status, or whatever. There was no one that I would say this is a friend. I was not close to any of them. The one I tried, I later felt that, oh, she was acting like she was backstabbing me. And I felt, God, this one, of all the people, I'm feeling like my world is crashing, and it's crashing in her hands. And when I realized that, now you see, I classified all of them together. Not one of them would come and be friendly to me. They kept off, and I kept off. So I went into a cocoon of myself. I'm in my own world. I'm in my own compound. We are in the same compound, but I'm in my own compound. My house was my compound. That is it. The family, that is the nuclear family, my husband and my children. Even though we are not so close with my husband, I felt I'm just here. This is my family. The rest, I don't care.
I have
fact,
at least I have a space.
I have some
I have
space.
some, and there's something, Jean, that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You said that depression was as a result of rejection.
Yeah.
Probably you can say something more on that one. So that probably our viewer there, they might have been going through rejection.
Yeah.
And they don't know that it has some consequences. And for you, you mentioned that depression was out of the rejection that you're going through.
Yeah.
So probably you can just look at the camera,
okay,
and just speak to somebody there that is feeling rejected and probably see something about it.
Yeah, you know, when rejection sets in, you start seeing people they don't want to associate you with you, whether it is at work, maybe it's in your business. You feel that you are very good in marketing, you feel you can sell, but people are not buying from you. People come and ask for items. Do you have this and this? Yes. How much? People, and somebody just leaves without any question. Maybe the same price that you are selling is the same commodity the next neighbor who is a shopkeeper is selling. But people ask and they don't buy. They go away. When you are rejected, when you realize that there is something, these people don't want me, these people don't want to buy from me, this person doesn't want to talk to me, even the next one and the next one, you start feeling like it is me who is wrong. What is wrong with me? What haven't I done that is right? Why do people just reject me? Why do people just shun me off? Why do people keep off from me? You know, you try to make friends with people, all of a sudden you find yourself you are alone. People don't want to be friends with you. You get a new friend, and then all of a sudden, after some few months, people don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to associate with you. You get into, like, as women, we are used to getting into women groups. You get into a women group because you want to associate with women. You want to be social. You want to help each other. But then you find after some time, just something comes up and you are told to mekutoa kwa group. We don't want you in our group. And you realize, this can't be. Why me alone? Somebody else does something even much more bad. A very bad thing. But they are still in the group. And then you start asking, surely, did I talk to somebody? Just talking to somebody and then you are told out of the group. Because you talked in the group when you are supposed to be listening. Somebody else here comes and abuses others and she's still in the group. And you start asking yourself, surely, is this normal? What is happening to me? Why is everybody against me? And you realize, you start asking, what have I not done enough for people to accept me? Is it, or sometimes you go to an extent of asking, do I smell? You start looking for is it a smell that I have that they get
that
away
is
from
repelling
me?
people away from you?
So it gets to a point that you feel frustrated. You are trying to attract people. You are working so hard to get accepted, but people don't. Because this is something it is not something physical. It is not something that is tangible. So it is something spiritual that you cannot say it is this and I will remove it. It's not like the way people used to get a jigger or you are having lice on your hair that you just remove, or you cut your hair and it is there. It is something inborn. It's an emotion. And people don't want to associate with you. You cannot force it. Rejection can only be treated spiritually. That is what I have experienced. There's nothing physical you can do about rejection that will pull you back to people, that will put you back on the track. It is just spiritual. You will only deal with it spiritually. Like mine, you see, my mother was rejected. And so because my mother left my father when I was still small, that spirit of rejection, we have grown with it, all of us. Maybe it is not all of us who are rejected. It was so much on me, but the rest are okay. Maybe if they are going through their own
they
phases,
may not have
they
talked.
may not have talked. But I realized I took the larger bargain of that rejection. And I've been living with it. So when I realized it is rejection, it was too late. I was already depressed. I was already depressed.
Yeah.
So much rejection, a lot of frustration. You don't want to associate with people. You cannot live in the world alone.
No.
You want to make relationships. You want to have friends. But these friends, after 2-3 months, they are all gone. You try to go and you chase after them. Now you get into chasing after the people, but they reject you. You know, you find yourself in a state that, like, your world has crashed. Because human beings, we are not made to live alone.
No.
We were made to live in relationships.
Yes.
The same case when God created Adam. God used to visit Adam. They used to talk. They
Yes.
used to socialize.
Yes.
They used to have some time together.
Yeah.
Human beings, we are created to be loved. We all want to be loved. Whether it's a male to female love, whether it's a woman to woman love, I want to feel loved. I want my sisters to love me. I want my brethren to love me. I want my colleagues to love me. But when you get to a point that all these people are rejecting you,
Yeah.
you feel like you are in a world of your own. It is your world that is crashing. You get depressed.
Yeah.
You start feeling your self-esteem goes down. It goes down, down, down. As long as you have not taken care of that rejection, the self-esteem goes down, down. These were most of these cases that you feel people get suicidal. These people have not just woken up and felt, I want to kill myself. It has been a journey.
Yeah.
It can even take 10 or even 20 years.
Yes.
According to the health of the person, according to the environment that the person is, according to how far the rejection is. This person can go up to 20 years. I got married in the early 20s. I'm 50. And there are still those small stings you feel, the rejection.
The residues from the behind.
Yeah, because rejection brings depression. When I go biblically, when Cain felt that God has been unjust, when that spirit of rejection entered Cain, he became angry with God and his brother. He felt, I'm not good enough. They don't want me because of their own choice. God rejected me. My brother has rejected me. He has favored my brother. He has not favored me. Rejection came in. After rejection, he became angry. After being angry, he became bitter. And this is where God comes and says, I can see evil crouching towards you. You must master it and run away from it. So rejection comes in with other forms of...
it is progressive.
It is progressive.
Yeah.
And it bears fruits that are not positive.
Of course.
Very negative fruits.
Of course.
Like anger, hatred. You get bitter. And now you become jealous. After all this, this is where you either become suicidal or you act towards people. You start behaving awkwardly towards the people who are carrying out the rejection towards you. You start, because you have hated them, you are so bitter with them, you become jealous, you become envious and jealous. So these forces are driving you away from these people. But when you try to come near them, you are not coming to people with a sober mind. You are coming to them, it's like a hallucination. You are trying to imagine the way things should be. So when it triggers into your mind that these people are not good and they have taken me through such a hard thing, you react. That is when we see people reacting so harshly, arrogantly, inhuman, because of they have been rejected, they are already depressed.
True. No, it's okay.
So when that person is depressed, when you see people acting in a way that somebody has taken an action that is inhumane, it is not an abstract decision. No, it is not something that has just come up. This person has come through a phase.
They've been meditating on whatever is going on.
Issues. And now it hits the maximum. And their mind just reacts on the defensive. They are being defensive. Because being frustrated or being depressed, you get into a defensive mechanism. You want to defend yourself. Like now, defending, I found out that defending myself was I keep off from people.
You isolate yourself.
Isolate myself.
You withdraw from people.
I withdraw from people. I don't want people to know what I'm going through. I don't want to associate with them. I can be on my own. After all, I don't need them. After all, my life will go on. All I need is my boys, my girls. All I need, after all, my husband still comes home every evening. I'm okay with that.
But you're not okay.
But I'm not okay.
You're not
Health-wise,
okay.
I'm not
you're
okay.
not okay.
Physically, in the literal world, everything is okay. Because I have my family. They have not taken away my husband from me. They have not taken my children. But emotionally, we are detached.
Okay. You've talked about the processes and the different things like anger, bitterness, you isolate yourself. At what point did you now start healing?
Okay. By the time I realized this is rejection, there's something wrong. I'm very well saved, speaking in tongues. I'm very prayerful, but I'm suffering. So I realized there are things that I cannot heal physically, either with the money, either with whatever I can get. There's nothing that can heal this with. I can only heal this spiritually. So by the time I'm realizing that, I'm already now hypertensive. I'm taking drugs. It reached a time I could fall in the house, literally fall in the house. And my baby girl, my now last born, is about 4 years. And she could run out of the house to go and tell the brothers to come, or the father to come and pick me. I have fallen. So I didn't realize it was blood pressure. By the time I went to the hospital, I had fallen about 6 or 7 times. By the grace of God, God had just maintained me in that state. So the time I went to the hospital and discovered that I'm hypertensive and it is so bad, I was put on drugs, which I'm taking even today. But at least I'm better off now.
Okay.
So when I realized I'm fighting a battle that I can never win, I'm fighting on my own without the skills, without the know-how. And a friend of mine we were in the same church, we were in the same fellowship, we were walking that journey together. And she could stand in for me. She was praying. She was a prayer partner. She could pray for me. I could pray for her. It was like we were going the same phases, but hers was not so high like I was by then. So when she's fighting my battles, she's also fighting her battles. She happened to get somebody who directed her to a lady who is a teacher of the word. And she was doing biblical counseling and spiritual warfare. So she went to the class. Unknowingly, I found that the times we used to go and pray for her, I could not get her to come and pray with me. And I started telling myself, she has become so busy, she could rushly come and pray with me and then go. She could not tell me where she went. So I could go to her house and check on her. She's not there. Most of the time, she's not there. When she's around, we are many. We are in a fellowship. We are praying. So there are some issues we could not talk because I wanted to have one-on-one. She knew my issues. I knew her issues. So it was not like we could talk from the fellowship platform. I could not get that time. So she went all along for 1 year. At the end of that year, there were many in that class. She had not told me. She called me for her graduation. We were going through her graduation. She called me. So I went. When I realized what was going on, I felt, oh God. I almost, if it were not for being saved, I would have decided she's not a good friend. Because she knew I was on the verge of breaking up. In fact, during this period, there was a time I had gone for 2 years. I left the house. I went back to my mother's place for 2 good years because I realized the blood pressure, I would fall anytime. I can fall anytime, and blood pressure is not a joke. I realized the trigger is still here.
The environment.
The environment. I'm still in that environment. So the triggers are around. So anytime I would fall, the blood pressure is going to spike because of the triggers. And so when I realized this blood pressure might kill me, I opted to go. So I carried my girls. I did not carry anything except the clothing. I carried my girls and went to my mother's place. I stayed there for 2 years. By the grace of God, I got attached by a neighbor, a friend, lady friend. I went for some counseling somewhere. The women from a different church, they were counseling for women. I went. So I started recovery from there. So when I came, my husband came for us from my mama's place.
After 2 years.
After 2 years. So when I came back when I'm sober. Now, I can fight back. I can fight through other channels. But it was not so. I thought the counseling I got from there is enough. But I realized I'm still going back to the same issues. I realized, my husband, the way I thought my husband would start behaving differently. It was not so. Although it was not full blown, it was not so. So when I followed my friend, I discovered that she has been going for a class, counseling, spiritual warfare, how to fight spiritually, and she has now. I could see now she has changed. She's now jovial. She's happy and she's glowing. I asked her, my friend, you were coming here and you could not tell me. And she told me, when if I told you, you would say I'm taking you out of the church. Though she had not gone out of the church. She was just going for counseling and spiritual warfare teachings. And she told me, if I told you, you would refuse. You would say, you don't want because it's somebody not of our church.
But she didn't know that you had already also gone to another group.
And she had I had not told her about that other group.
But you had gone.
Yeah, I had gone.
So you had started healing.
I had started healing.
Yes.
But now this one is so different. It is deeper. This one is so deeper. You get to it is like you get everything out from your heart. Like the way from our community, when we cook the irio, the traditional irio, the mokimo and the githeri, from those old pots that our grandmothers used to do. There was something that we used to call, you get the whole of the food out.
Yes.
With that, we call it, is it not a calabash? It's what? It's a gourd.
It's a kind of kaihori. I don't know what it's called.
Gourd. It's like you do what? You take everything out without leaving anything.
Yes.
This is whereby you go and pour out your heart. You don't deal with those the forces that you feel are oppressing you.
It is about you.
It is about you.
Yes.
You start dealing with it by yourself.
Yeah.
Before you deal with the other person, you have to first of all, you deal with yourself. Because normally we look at it from a place that it is those people, those offenders. They are the one at fault.
Yes.
You fail to realize you could be the one at fault.
It's true.
So this counseling, you get to deal with yourself first.
It is true. And thank you very much because that is where I come in as a therapist. That rejection held, we go through rejection,
Yeah.
and you have given us your experience.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is it can heal through spiritual,
Yeah.
your faith,
Yeah.
your relationship with God
Yeah.
is one way of
Yeah.
dealing with it.
Yeah.
The second thing is psychological. And I would like to just talk to my viewer there that it is possible for you to get out.
Yes.
You're saying right now, pressure has gone down.
Yeah.
As much as you're taking medication, it is not like that other time.
No.
And one thing that you got into counseling in terms of, getting help, and there's like scooping everything from your heart. And that is a process that we actually help people to walk through, because it is that scooping with somebody who is trained, with a therapist, so that you can walk the journey and so that this person can heal. And that is why I want to really appreciate you. I appreciate you for sharing with us, because I'm sure somebody seated there is saying, Jane, like now Jane Jerry is like, yes, this is what I'm going through. All the signs that you've talked about, all the issues that you've talked about, the environment, and that like sometimes challenges of changing the same environment comes in. And that is why we say it is a journey, and counseling, therapy works, therapy helps, and I'm sure that today you have touched somebody's life. And I want to say God bless you. Amen. Thank you so much. And next time I'll still call you for another one. We'll still come and sit here.
As much as you need me,
yes.
I'll come.
Yes.
I will come.
Yes.
I know. So there are issues that we can share and help each other.
It is true.
Just the way I was helped by somebody else,
yes,
I also can help somebody
It
else.
is true.
We
Not that you
get our
can,
hearts
not
out.
that you can. You've already done it. You've already helped somebody.
Okay,
and I believe that as long as they will play this clip, this video, they are going to get help. So may the Lord bless you and do you good.
Amen.
And continue healing you.
Amen.
Because it's a journey.
It's a journey.
And you need to be patient with yourself. And I talk to my viewer this day and this episode. I just want us to, it is possible for us to start the journey of healing. We can be rejected. We can see it live. We can almost touch it because we're feeling it. But what I would say is there is help. It is possible to start the journey of healing and heal. Don't be in a rush. Don't bash yourself. Don't, hate yourself, because those have effect. But ask for help. And if you're there and you'd like to also share your story here, Jane went through quite a lot. But right now, she can encourage somebody. She can say she can self-disclose and say, I have gone through this, but it is possible for you to heal. You can see the way she's glowing. She's beautiful. She's nice, because she has started the journey and she's walking the journey. And I want to encourage you, walk the journey. If you'd like us to host you, just text us on our number on the screen, and then follow us on our social media platforms. Subscribe, share. Let people know this and let us all get help. And I want to really thank you so much for following us and continue being faithful with us, even to us and on this show. And I believe that it is changing our life. And if you'd like to share what it's doing, just go to the comment section on our YouTube channel and, leave a comment there. And I believe somebody else reading it will also be encouraged. And until next time, may the Lord bless you and do you good, and stay Health Now Show, your health friend. God bless you. Bye.